All right, this is the second section of Unit 6, and now we're going to look at the properties of molecular compounds. So molecules and molecular compounds have a very wide range of individual properties. Different elements have different properties. The way you put them together changes the properties. But we have some wider properties that go for a lot of nonmetals and a lot of molecules. So the properties of an individual molecule is based on the elements that compose it and how the atoms are arranged. But we do share some general properties. For instance, most molecules tend to have low melting and boiling points. So a low melting point means that the substance may exist as a liquid at room temperature. So some examples of things with a low melting point, we're talking about things like water, things like mercury, or let's leave it at that. A low boiling point means that the substance may exist as a gas at room temperature. And for this, we could look at like oxygen gas, or CH4 is methane, it's the main component of natural gas, or CO2. Those are some examples. So many compounds exist as gases or liquids at normal temperatures. Something else about molecular compounds is that they tend to be really poor conductors of electricity because they're sharing electrons. So they're sharing electrons, these are going back and forth in a chemical bond, in a covalent bond, but they don't move outside of the molecule. They're not free to move outside of the covalent bond. So they are sharing really well between two atoms, but they don't want to share with anything else. They're sharing a little bit, and that's good enough. They're not going to keep sharing with other things. Some molecular compounds are soluble in water, which means we can dissolve it in water and it stays dissolved. But there are a lot of molecular compounds that won't dissolve in water. And you might mix it up in water, put it in a bottle and shake it up, and it will look like it dissolved, but then after a little while, they'll probably separate and you'll see two different layers. The solubility of compounds depends on some factors that we're going to discuss later in this unit.